Okay guys, so today we are going to be solving quadratic equations by factoring. This is kind of review of what we've done, and as I hope you remember, but quadratic equation has a form of ax squared plus bx plus c, and that equals to 0 because it has to be equation, so it has to be equal sign. So whatever number coefficient is in front of x squared, that's your a, coefficient in front of x, that's your b, and the number by itself is a c. So today we're going to talk about case where a is 1. So I don't know if you remember, but we were creating a area, rectangular, and finding the area, the sides of the rectangle, but also we're creating a diamond. So in this case, when a is 1, you only need a diamond. So for example, we have a problem like x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Okay, if you are still confused, you can always list your a. In this case, the coefficient in front of x squared is 1, and b coefficient in front of x is -7. Don't forget the sign. And then c is the number by itself, which is 12. Okay, so because a is 1, we only need to have a diamond. I know that's not look like a diamond, but you guys know where it's coming from. And the top of the diamond was always the a times c. In my case, it will be 1 times 12. So that's 12. And the bottom of this is always was b. So the sum. And in this case is -7. Now we need to find two numbers. They're gonna go right here, 1 and 2, that at the same time multiply to 12 and add up to -7. So if you get confused, what does that mean? Starts with writing factors of 12, meaning I can divide 12 by 1 and that's going to give me 12 because 1 times 12 is 12. I can divide 12 by 2 and that's going to give me 6 because 2 times 6 is 12. I can divide it by 3 and that's going to give me 4 because 3 times 4 is 12. So I go in order, divide by 1, divide by 2, divide by 3, and see what's left. Okay, next number will be 4, which already is on my one of the numbers, so that means I have to stop because they're going to start repeating. Okay, so now I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 12, so those are my pairs, and at the same time add up to -7, add or subtract, so I can use negative sign also. Okay, so people have problems with negative numbers, so the best thing is to, okay, I want to create, how can I create 7? I can create 7 by adding 3 plus 4, right? But I don't really want 7, I want -7. -7, guys, is opposite number to 7, right? That means I need opposite of 3, which is -3, and opposite of +4, which is -4. So -3 minus 4 gives me -7, and that's what I want. I can check, is -3 times -4 +12? Yes. Is -3 plus -4 -7? Yes. Okay, so my two numbers are -3 and -4. What do I do with them? Well, I need to, this is factoring. So I need to put them back in parentheses, like opposite of distributing, foiling. So x minus 3, x minus 4. Because they both negative. It's -3 and -4. I'm not changing sign over here. Now we're solving it, so we still have one more step. When I solve this, what does that mean to solve this? This is a zero property. So when you multiply something by 0, it's always going to give me 0, right? So that means that x minus 3 has to be 0. So if this whole thing is 0 and I multiply by this, it's still going to give me 0. Or x minus 4 is 0. One or the other has to be 0, or both, right? Okay, so now I'm solving my little equations. Okay, I don't have space here. Hold on, bear with me. Here we go. Okay, solving it. How do I solve this little equation? Well, I need to get x by itself. So I'm removing 3 by adding it, because negative 3 plus 3 disappears. And x is 3. And that's the same thing I would do on this for this equation, and x is 4. Remember, we did a shortcut. We didn't have to solve every single equation. We noticed that whatever is inside of my parentheses, my answer is actually opposite sign. So my answer is negative. My factors were negative 3, negative 4, but my actual solution is 3 and 4. All right. So let's try one more. The second example will be x squared minus 10x plus 16 equals 0. Okay. What do? A times c. What's a times c? 1 times 16. That's 16. And then over here it's only b, and remember it's negative 10. Okay guys, I'm finding factors of 16. 1 times 16 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 is not going to work because 16 is not divisible by 3. And 4 times 4. Okay, any of those pairs will give me, let's start with positive 10. Well, yeah. 2 plus 8 is positive 10. But since I want negative 10, that means I need opposite number to 10. I need opposite number to 2, which is negative 2, and opposite number of 8, which is negative 8. So my factors are negative 2 and negative 8. You can check. Is negative 2 times negative 8 positive 16? Yes. Is negative 2 minus 8 negative 10? Yes. So negative 2, x minus 2, x minus 8 is 0. And then I can solve it or do it in my head or think about it as always the opposite number. So x will be 2 or x will be 8. Okay. Now we also came across different problems. We came across problems like this: x squared minus 16 equals 0. What happens? I don't have a b here, right? So we have a couple of choices here. We can actually follow the same steps that we did with the regular equation. So a times c will be 1 times negative 16, so negative 16. But the b is missing, so that will give me 0. Now you have to think about two numbers that multiply to negative 16, but at the same time equal to 0. So factors: 1, 16, 2, 8, 3 doesn't work, 4, 4. We just did this, right? The numbers add up to 0. They have to be exactly the same, but they have to be opposite signed. So positive 4 minus 4 is 0. My factors will be positive 4 and negative 4. So the answer will be x plus 4 and x minus 4. Why? Because it's positive 4 plus 4 and negative 4, negative 4. My final answer after solving will be negative 4 or positive 4. That's one option. Okay, you can still use a diamond. Now the second option, guys, we did this It's a square root method. What was the deal? We were trying to solve for x. So we were removing everything next to x. So I'm adding 16, so it goes away. And now I have x squared equals 16. Remember how to solve this? We had to take square root of both sides. And that always gave us 2 answers. Because the question really asking me, what number squared is 16? Well, one of them is 4. That's something that you know from middle school or even earlier. But there's also another number squared that gives you 16, and that is -4. So a little bit faster maybe method, but you might forget about it, so this is perfectly fine. Okay, now what happens when what happens when I don't have C? Okay, C is missing. So C in this case is 0. Okay, let's try to use the diamond. 1 times 0, 8 times C is 0. And I have to add up to -4. Okay, again, when you multiply anything by 0, right, it's going to give you 0. What do you want them to add up? You want them to add up to -4. That means the second factor has to be -4. So we would have x plus 0 and x minus 4, which is a really strange thing to write because we don't want to waste time and write x plus 0. We just write x times x minus 4. So what are my answers? When one of the answers is 0, because we're not adding anything, and the second answer is opposite of -4 is +4. Okay, still can use the diamond. Okay, I'm going to post 3 problems for you on the next page right here, and I want you to stop the video and take a piece of paper and try to solve it. You can always go back to the video and look at how we're solving specific examples, but try to do it yourself, and then when you solve it, check your answers. So here we go. Okay, practice number 1 for practice. How about we do x squared minus 2x minus 35 equals 0. It's one of them. The second problem, I'm going to use, let's see what I can use. Oh, let's see, x squared minus 81 equals 0. And then the third problem will be, okay, x squared plus 6x equals 0. Okay guys, take your time, try to solve it, and after you solve it, then check the answers. The answer is going to be provided. Okay, so you should get -35 and -2. The two factors that multiply to -35 are 5 and 7, but because we need to add them up to -2, the 7 has to be negative, right? So the factors will be +5 and -7, but your final answer should be -5 and that looks like 9, sorry, and +7. Okay, in this case, I would do it the way that I would move 81 away from x. So x squared is 81. I would take a square root of both sides, and I will get my two answers, +9 or -9. Okay, and then this guy, so if you do the diamond, it's 0. y is a 0 because c is missing. So 1 times 0 is 0, but the sum has to be 6. So 1 multiplies to 0 with something that it has to have 0, and the second number they have to add up to 6. So the factor has to be 6. So my answer will be x times x plus 6 equals 0. But my final answer after solving is 0 or negative 6. Remember, it's always opposite of whatever you find the next class. So please try to do your best. If you need help, please reach out, watch the video again, email me, send me a message through either Remind or Google Classroom, anything you guys need, or leave a comment under this video. And now take a 5 minutes break and then get to work. Bye guys.